Dimitri, and I'll be reading from the Cephalomonk Diaries. Today's entry is titled, Keep Moving. Subtitle, Ralph's Airport Adventure. Ralph was waiting patiently and excitedly to board his flight. The last flight he took was during the late 1980s. Ralph had already been through a giant ordeal just getting his ticket and was so proud of himself. The last flight he took, in the fall of 1989, he simply called up the airline and asked when the next flight from Austin to New York was happening. Over the phone, Ralph was able to reserve a seat, and when it came to fly, he drove with his young wife to the airport. They parked, walked to the ticket counter, paid with cash. They walked to the gate holding hands, and as he went to board the plane, she waved from the big airport windows as he took off. Ralph was a bit disoriented this time around. He had his beautiful middle-aged wife drive him to the airport. They drove around and around the airport for about 20 minutes trying to find the parking lot. Ralph was always prepared sort of fella, so he had budgeted 2 hours before his flight. Down to 1 hour and 40 minutes, Ralph still didn't feel rushed, but was getting a bit anxious. They finally were whistled at by one of those TSA officers. His beautiful middle-aged white wife got nervous at the whistling and slammed on the brakes. The TSA officer spat out his whistle and yelled, "Move! Keep moving!"
"Ralph, I don't like this,"
said his wife, shakily.
Now, honey. Let's just ask him where to park.
No, Ralph. That will just make him more mad.
Just ask.
Excuse me, sir?
Keep moving!
Sir?
What? What is it? Keep moving!
Sir, where can we park?
No parking here. This is a loading and unloading zone. Keep moving.
Yes, sir. I want to park our car at the airport so I can walk my husband in.
Exit this loop. Drive out of the airport. Get on the freeway. Exit the second exit. Park in the lot. Take the shuttle over. Keep moving. Ralph's wife did as instructed. They came to the parking lot, and there was no attendant. There was a small machine, which asked them to scan a QR code, then select from a website the duration they'd like to pay for. Neither of them had used a QR code before, so Ralph decided to look up how to scan one. He finally figured it out, and they parked. The time before takeoff was now 1 hour and 14 minutes. Ralph flung his bags out of the trunk. Come on! He didn't know where he was coming on to, though. He looked around and then finally began to get audibly miffed. Where the hell is the darn shuttle?
Ralph, calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. I'm gonna miss my flight if we don't catch the shuttle.
I could just drop you off.
No! We are here now. Let's just find the shuttle. So they started following a pair of young kids in their 20s. They followed them to a little area that said smoking zone. It was an area with a little awning. They stood there with them as the kids began to smoke. After about 3 minutes, Ralph couldn't contain himself. Excuse me, do you mind? The kids in their 20s looked at Ralph confused.
Well, do you want to smoke?
No. I was going to ask, do you mind not smoking so close to the shuttle station?
But sir, this isn't the shuttle station. This is the designated smoking zone.
They dickishly pointed to the giant sign behind them.
But the shuttle station is over there, behind those pillars.
Ralph and his wife rushed over there just as they saw the shuttle pull away.
Oh, well, isn't that fantastic? Ralph, please, I hate to see you get angry, sarcastic.
They waited another 9 minutes for the next shuttle and finally made it to the airport. Ralph's time dwindled to 51 minutes. He and his wife got in line for his airline. They waited about 8 minutes, and once they got to the front, the woman said, "You didn't need to wait in this line if you aren't checking a bag. You need to go over to the TSA line." Ralph sighed really loudly. Then everyone behind him in line sort of looked away, acting as if they hadn't seen him or heard him. So, Ralph and his wife got in the TSA line. Well, you hear about these TSA lines, but I never thought it was true. But true it was. They waited and waited and waited, slowly moving towards the big scanners. Then Ralph and his wife finally made it to a TSA agent.
ID and passport?
Ralph gave them his driver's license and boarding pass. He proudly figured out how to print at home.
ID and boarding pass?
Ralph's wife stood frozen.
I don't have a boarding pass.
Ma'am, please go back to the ticket counter and get your boarding pass, then back in this line. She began shaking.
But I'm not flying.
The TSA agent perked up, sat up straight, and looked Ralph's wife right in the eyes.
Ma'am, what do you mean you're not flying? I'm dropping off my husband at the gate. Ma'am, without a boarding pass, this is as far as you go. Please get out of line.
Ralph's wife looked scared and embarrassed. She wanted to send her husband off with their normal hugs and kisses ritual, but they abbreviated the send-off with a hand squeeze and a "I love you." And there Ralph stood, finally at his gate, eager and ready to go on his New York adventure to see their son. Just then, a voice came on over the intercom.
Passengers for flight AS432 to New York, please be advised that due to weather concerns, the flight has now been canceled and rescheduled for tomorrow morning.
Ralph looked at his smartphone, then threw it hard against the wall. TSA agents came, escorted him out, and he was put on the no-fly list for 5 years. The end. If you want to check out the Easter egg for this entry, the date it was published, or want to see the picture associated with it, what would you do? How could you possibly find out where to get that information? Is there a place somewhere on this page? Might it be available? Could it be down where the links are? Oh, I don't know.